It's 7:06. Let's call the meeting to order. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilman Galvin,
Here.
Councilwoman Keys,
Here.
Councilman Bieneme,
Here.
Vice Mayor Dezume.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Now let's, for the Pledge of Allegiance, let's call Detective Nelson Perez of the North Miami Police Department. Thank you. And now we're going to have invocation by Rabbi Jerry Lane of the Rabbi of the Bet Moshe congregation.
And the act of terrorism with the 49 lives that have been lost, we're going to start by taking 49 seconds of silence to remember all of them. Let us pray that these acts of violence cease, that we understand that we have to live in a world where we have to have unity in diversity, that love is the most important thing that we could share. We have it here in North Miami. Hopefully, God willing, all the people in Orlando will somehow heal from this horrible tragedy, but that everyone here should know from goodness, from peace, from tranquility, and that our country, God willing, will know of peace, and that everyone here in our city, all the people who work for our city, will be blessed with good health, with wisdom, and we say amen.
Amen. Thank you, Rabbi. Mr. Manager, any addition, deletion, or amendment to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Vice Mayor. We'd like to withdraw tab F and tab G.
F and G. Okay, thank you. And now, is Representative Campbell here? Ah, good afternoon, Representative. Good afternoon, Deputy Pepler. Yes. And now the representative will address the residents of North Miami and the residents of District 108 rep.
Okay. Where's my staff, Natalie? Thank you, Vice Mayor, and good evening, everyone. Good evening, residents of North Miami. Good to see you all. And good evening, all the council. Councilwoman Keys, Councilman Scott Garvin. Scott, how you doing? And Councilman Bieneme. And my Etienne, my clerk. Hi there, and everyone else. Anyway, for those who don't know who I am, I'm a state representative, Daphne Campbell, District 108. I think I should stand like this. Everybody sees me very well. Or I could turn this. That's better, much better. Yes, I'm Daphne Campbell, District 108, representing the city of North Miami, the beautiful city. And I think they said number 4. I said number 1 in the entire world. You know, represented in Tallahassee for 6 full years. And as you know, Tallahassee this year, we passed a lot of bills. And we filed a lot of bills, and only few, you know, right now, it's law. And I was, as a Democrat, I was the chair for local government. And in Tallahassee, I always voice for what is best for local government. And I could tell you this year in Tallahassee, I saw so many of them in Tallahassee came to advocate for the city. the mayor, the vice mayor, the council, they were there. And this year, I don't know if my staff passed of a little literature for all of you, okay? And in the literature, it says everything. The bill I passed in Tallahassee this year, and I could tell you one of the biggest one, we has been, myself has been fighting for 6 full years in Tallahassee, is for the nurse practitioners and physician assistants to prescribe controlled substance. The state of Florida is 50 states, and Florida was only state left. And these nurses have been fighting in Tallahassee for 50 years, back and forth, back and forth. Myself filed that bill since 2011, failed every year, but with God's grace, this year, 2016, and with the help of one of my, colleague Republicans, we passed the bill, and now, started March this year, 2016, the nurse practitioners and physician assistants in the entire state of Florida now could, prescribe controlled substances. It's a big, big win for the state of Florida because I'm the only nurse in the House. You guys don't give me no hands for that. This is big, 50 years. It's a 50 years fight, and now it comes to a hand, and now, they have that privilege. Let me talk about the city of North Miami. In the budget this year, we passed 82 billion budget. And I could tell you city of North Miami is in the budget. I see Karen sitting in the back of here. She's one of the members of PALS. I see she's smiling. I know why. Because PALS didn't get anything in Tallahassee. But don't worry, Karen, you get something next year, if God's will. But the city of North Miami, we did have a few projects in Tallahassee. Some of them Governor Scott vetoed. But one of them, I, myself, with the help of, she's not here today, right? Your assistant, the assistant's council. She, with her help and myself, we've created, she's in the back here. Come on, stand up, Mom. Natasha. Natasha, stand up. Give Natasha a good hands for me. She's doing a great job. A great, great job, Natasha. Natasha and I, we created, and I did propose it the last time I was here, a program for senior elderly housing. And with a lot of efforts, and I got them $200,000 in the budget. Right, Natasha? And we have more money for water storage projects, and a few of them, North Miami Gates. So I could tell you for 6 years, I've been working very close with the entire council, the mayor, the councils. We work very close together. They always in Tallahassee asking for money for North Miami, and they always got something. I do remember 2014, right, Vice Mayor, if you could recall, and for the library, we did have $1 million, and this is why now the library is renovated, and you could see if you go over there, the library is very beautiful. Tallahassee have a Department of State. Department of State, I told people, if you have any building, it's historical, you got money. They give you money to, renovate that building. They give you money for windows, for ceilings, for whatever you need to be done. Department of State has that, if it's historical building. But no money for churches, no money for religious organization, nothing like that. But we do have money for like an organization who doing a great job in the community, like a Youth for Victory. I think it's Nelson. I got him $368,000 this year. You have Santla have money. You have the African Museum for the first time in history. They got $110,000. We have money in Tallahassee for good organization. If you have anything for youth prevention, any organization for youth prevention, they give you money to help this youth not to go to jail, and we try to keep them off jail. So basically, I could tell you the city of North Miami has been very, very, very dear to me, and we work very close together. We're going to continue to do so. And the mayor, and I could say job well done, and all of you, good job. And I'm going to continue to do so. And the residents of North Miami always reach out to me as well if they have any problem in the office. This is my staff, my chief of staff, Natalie. Stand up, let everybody know who you are. This is Natalie Charles. She's a nurse, and she's in the office with me for 4 years now, and we've been serving the city very, very well for past 6 years. I'm talking about politically, economically, physically, emotionally, with everything. So I work 24/7 to make sure the city is well addressed, and their concern heard. And I am the voice for the voiceless. I will continue to do so. I love you all. Thank you, council, again. Thank you, Vice Mayor and the Mayor if he's not here. Thank you, resident of North Miami, for accepting me and for working very close with me. I love you all. May God bless every one of you, and may God bless United States of America. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Representative Campbell. Thank you so much for all the good work that you do on behalf of the cities you represent in Tallahassee. And now we're gonna have a certificate of recognition. Please, council members, let's move down. And we are going to present a certificate of recognition to Code Enforcement Department in honor of Code Enforcement Week, which was last week. The whole thing. How are you? I'm like you. I was gonna call them. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just wait. You know, I was going to call them up, but now I don't have to do that. One less thing for me to do. Last week was Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week, which was June 10th to June 20th. The Code Enforcement Department worked very diligently to maintain order and also to improve stuff within our community. And on behalf of the City Council, the Mayor, and the entire residents of North Miami, I would like to not only congratulate Commander Blanchard and his staff, which they're all here. Everybody here for a job well done, and we'd like to present this certificate to you on behalf of the City Council. Okay, well, here go the certificate. In recognition of Code Enforcement Appreciation Week, we commended you. Your dedication to serve, maintain, and improve our community is greatly appreciated and is held at the highest regard. We wish you continued success and determined as you strive to make North Miami a better city. And I know from the entire City Council, thank you. We're gonna take one picture with you guys as the council, and then we're gonna ask Representative Campbell to come up after we're done with the council to take a picture. Is that it? Katia? Katia, that's it? Thank you, sir. C'est ça seulement? Okay. I think that's it. Yes. Yeah. Sir? That's just one. Lucky us. One more. Okay, perfect. Okay, let them sit. Guys, I'm sorry. There's one more. Councilman Bien-Aimé. Can Natasha Colebrook-Williams please come forward? We have one more presentation. It's a little surprise, I didn't know. Oh, he did? Oh, Natasha? Oh, she's not surprised. Oh. Yeah, we have one more. She was supposed to do it? Oh, really? Oh, this is nice. Whatever. This is beautiful. Can you please present this on behalf of staff? Okay, go ahead.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to recognize Kent Walia. If he could come to the front. One of the city's many initiatives is Keep North Miami Beautiful, and we had an opportunity to nominate an employee or a person that has contributed to the cause. Kent is our administrator for sustainability and has taken a special interest in ensuring that we take a forward step towards making the city sustainable. Some of the things Kent has done in his role is make sure that we plant native trees, make sure that we're aware of green initiatives. He's even created Captain Sustainability, which he goes out dressed up to make it kid-friendly to educate individuals. So as part of Keep North Miami Beautiful, I had the honor of nominating Kent, and to our pleasure, he was a recipient of this award, and we just want to congratulate him. So the award is from Keep America Beautiful, a national award.
Alrighty, city events and announcement.
Good evening, Vice Mayor, Council, staff, and members of the public. My name is Cassandra Timothy, Public Information Specialist, and I'm here to share all of the exciting events coming up in the City of North Miami's 90th anniversary year. Celebrate 90 years of history and culture in North Miami at the NOMI 90th Anniversary Festival on Saturday, June 18th at 2 p.m. Enjoy live music entertainment, giveaways every hour, including 100 fruit trees and other goodies, arts and craft corner, rock climbing wall, face painting, and more in the Mocha Plaza. Best part, admission is free. The party starts at 2 p.m. Don't be late. Take a book, leave a book. Join Mayor Smith Joseph and the North Miami City Council for the NOMI Mayor's Little Free Library unveiling ceremony at City Hall on Wednesday, June 22nd at 10 a.m. The mission of Little Free Library is to bring communities together by bringing books to the community in form of little houses. The purpose of this project is to promote literacy and the love of reading by building free book exchange throughout the city. The City of North Miami will be hosting a budget workshop to discuss the timeline for the 2016-2017 fiscal year annual budget development and adoption on Wednesday, June 22nd at 5:30 p.m. in the council's chambers. Stay tuned by watching our free governmental programming, NOMI TV, available 24 hours a day through the city's website, www.northmiamifl.gov. Like the City of North Miami on Facebook, follow @NOMI News on Twitter, and download the MyNOMI mobile app. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Timothy. And any city updates, hurricane preparedness? Yeah. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Vice Mayor,
Good evening.
esteemed members of the council, our city leadership, and also good evening to all of our residents, guests, and visitors. I am Sergeant Brinson, and the city's emergency manager, and I just came to give a brief update on our current preparedness. As you all know, hurricane season has started. It runs from June 1st through November 30th. And right now, this season, we were forecast to have 12 named storms, and we seem to be right on point because we've already had 3 named storms so far this season, ending with Colin. I'm pleased to say that at this time, we are not tracking any storm systems either in the Gulf of Mexico or in the Atlantic Ocean. You all be glad to know that throughout the city, we have been reviewing our emergency preparedness policies. We have been ensuring that all of our equipment is in position and properly working, and we are prepared to respond to any emergency, whether it be natural or man-made. And that's all still heavy on our hearts from what we witnessed, what took place in Orlando. So we are preparing not just for hurricanes, but for any emergency that we will respond to and recover from that. Before I sit down, I brought in a stack of the hurricane booklets. I have a stack up here. I'll also be placing another stack in the lobby of City Hall as well as in the lobby of the police station. These guides are very valuable. They have information in English, Spanish, and Creole. In addition, if you can't get one, at least you can go to 311 or call 311. They have a lot of information for what to do before a storm, during the storm, and after the storm, evacuation information. If you or any of your family members or somebody you know has special needs to or assistance with evacuation, all of that information can be found inside this hurricane preparedness guide. And if there's no other questions for anybody?
No, sir. Thank you so much. Member of the council, any questions? No. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Now we need a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve the consent agenda. That motion was seconded by Councilman Bieneme. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 4-0 vote. Tab H.
Tab H.
Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to amend the annexation application submitted to Miami-Dade County for an area known as the Biscayne Corridor East Annexation Area, as specifically delineated in the attached Exhibit A, in an effort to resolve competing local government conflicts and facilitate the annexation process to fruition, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Go ahead, Mr. Manager. Is there a presentation? or
No
slide?
presentation, but just a brief discussion. Mr. Vice Mayor, from the last meeting, we had a discussion item where I presented the issue that the city currently has conflicting annexation requests with other municipalities. In my discussions with the county staff and the county chairman's office, they've asked that we attempt to, I guess, remove or eliminate those conflict areas. And based on our discussion that we had the last meeting, I'm bringing this item back, which is basically a general authorization to allow myself and staff to take the necessary steps to alleviate those conflicts. The recommendation that I made at the last meeting, to put it on the record again, would be for us to potentially modify the Biscayne Corridor East annexation application request and move forward with the parcels that are to the east of Biscayne Boulevard, and to not move forward with the items that are to the west. There would be no, and just put on the record, there would be no endorsement of any other person's application, but just simply us making those modifications. The item itself is generic enough, if would be, to allow me to even make other changes if necessary to ensure that we could move forward on that particular application. So I respectfully request your support on the item.
Okay. Now let's open conversation to the member of the dais. Or do we do public hearing first? Okay. Let's open it to public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak, please come forward. Is someone monitoring the time? Yeah. Okay.
Good evening, Council. My name is Robert Houston. I live at 1150 Northeast 123rd Street in an area otherwise known as Palomar Park. And I live in an area of North Miami that would be greatly impacted by the proposed annexation of Biscayne Park, of this particular parcel of land to the west of Biscayne Boulevard. I understand the city's concern that they have been threatened directly, and I've spoken with people with homeowners associations east of the boulevard who live in Sally Hayman's district. I happen to live in Gene Monestein's district. I also took the time to study the maps of districts 2, 3, and 4 to realize that this particular parcel, which is in contest, is the only parcel which, unfortunate, County Commissioner Sally Hayman can offer to Biscayne Park. That stated, my commissioner, Gene Monestein, I would hope, would stand up to represent North Miami in an objection against that particular annexation, but I do understand that CRA funds have been threatened, as well as possible annexations to other areas of North Miami by the County Commissioner Sally Hayman's, according to the recommendation of the County Zoning and Planning Board. I don't object to the city manager's possible withdrawing in order to achieve what we want for the betterment of North Miami. I do object to Biscayne Park's annexation, but as I was told to me by this council and by one particular council commissioner, that this is a county matter, and the only thing you can do is basically either object or not object, and I don't want to see North Miami lose anything for the betterment of our community.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm almost done. Let me just
Well,
state
no,
one thing.
hold on. Anyone else who would like to speak on the matter? Well, you'll have 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Again, I would like to see Commissioner Audrey Edmondson involved in this, as well as Commissioner Gene Monestein in a discussion with Sally Hayman, which I hope will be a recommendation of this city included in their revised proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I see no one. Public hearing is now closed, and we bring the conversation to members of the dais. Go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I would just like to voice my objection. My preference would be that if we're going to withdraw our application, it would be my hope that it remain with the county so we can maintain county assistance with regard to any policing activities, as opposed to leaving it to another city that is not anywhere near the area. Also, I do worry for the Palomar area with their police department going through our neighborhoods, emergencies racing. So I'm voicing my objection. I'd also like to say that I am going to give our manager, I would like to give our manager the authority to negotiate. I trust him. I know we have different views, but I'm also strongly saying that whatever you do, that we do not endorse or consent to any other applications that would be regarding this property.
Anyone else? Councilman?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, through you to the manager, are you asking us to fully withdraw the petition in question, or does it sit on the sideline in case Biscayne Park doesn't follow through and we can still step in and it'll still be an active application? What technically is the legal term we're using tonight?
Well, what I'm asking to do is not to withdraw the application wholesale. I want to modify it and just eliminate some of the conflicting areas. They're still beyond this process. There's still a process that both of us would still have to go through.
Yes.
So it doesn't end here, with the modification. But that's what I'm asking for today.
And was my understanding we had 4 applications for 4 separate areas, I think is what it was.
Correct.
Is this a modification of the singular one that addresses the Biscayne Park requested area, or is this a modification that affects all 4? Are they combined?
This is a modification that only affects the one that we had the conflict with Biscayne Park. My understanding with discussion with county staff, we do have other conflict areas, but they've already recommended that we get those conflicting areas,
Okay.
which are to the north and west of the city.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Well, I would like to support the item because it's a whole process that's going to go through this. Because once the county approve it, it's my understanding, they have to vote for the residents of them being incorporated. So, and I think we are very, very happy with the south side of Biscayne Boulevard, which is a nice little piece of property that we are inquiring. But echoing what Councilman Galvin says, since it's not impacting none of the other areas, and we have had some in conflict, so we just have to be mindful about that. Not only they are working with us, I would definitely support this, although we don't like it. You know, we're not, you know, that's not how we would like, we like for us to have it, but unfortunately, we're in a situation where we have to make best and sound decision that's not only gonna affect the entire city, but that's gonna be, well, for the future of North Miami. So, without any further ado, Mr. Clerk, can you please call roll? Or can we just
May I have a
Is it
motion to approve tab H?
Motion to approve.
second?
I have a motion made by Councilman Bieneme to approve tab H. That motion was then seconded by Vice Mayor Desume. And because this is in fact an ordinance, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 4-0 vote. Yes,
It's a resolution, right?
yes, I didn't
Okay.
need roll call. Tab
Tab-
I.
Yes.
Oh.
tab
Tab I. Proposed resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of North Miami, Florida, expressing its support for the establishment of the Oleta River Community Development District and a multi-purpose special taxing district comprising approximately 183.4 acres of land, having external boundaries as depicted in the map attached hereto as Exhibit A and made a part hereof, providing for an effective date and for all other purposes.
Through the Vice Mayor. The developer has two representatives here to speak on the item, Mr. Ron Van Wink and Bob Gang.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, council members. Roy Van Wyk with Hopping Green and Sam's, 119 South Monroe Street, Tallahassee, Florida. I'm here with Mr. Bob Gang from Greenberg Traurig, also representing the petitioner, Oleta Partners. We're here today seeking the council's support for the establishment of a community development district. If you'll recall, we had a wonderful workshop a number of weeks ago where we had an opportunity to discuss the issues surrounding the establishment of a community development district and the purpose. As you'll recall, the purpose of the community development district is for a financing mechanism for public infrastructure only. It's not for anything else other than public infrastructure. That establishment will have no impact on the city's budget. It doesn't cause you to have any maintenance costs associated with those annual installments on any assessments that would be there for the improvements. It doesn't impact your bonding capacity in any way either. It's a separate independent district that will be used solely for the purposes of funding infrastructure, and the residents and or the property owners within that area will be the ones paying for those costs associated with those improvements. That's what we're here today. The county, in order for us to make an application to the county requires that we seek the support of the council. I hope that we were able to answer all your questions at the public workshop, but if not, I'm here, as well as Bob Gang, to answer any of the questions that you may have with respect to the district.
Is that it, Mr. Manager, or is that the presentation, or? Okay, I thought there was a presentation.
The power, you guys have
No.
the PowerPoint is not done. No.
We did a PowerPoint presentation at the workshop.
Workshop.
We didn't have one. We didn't want to take up too much of the council's time again. We appreciate the time that you put into the workshop, and again, it's just a financing mechanism
Well,
for that infrastructure.
Sir, some of us from the council was not present at that, and if we want to be transparent, a lot of members of the public was not present at that time. So I would like to see something, because I was one who wasn't present. And from the time that we had, and which I'll speak on the item a little bit later, this is the first time, 10 minutes ago, I heard about this item. I was livid when I read it on the city agenda, the way, how it was sponsored by my administration, which I didn't know nothing about. A resident called me about it. I couldn't say anything. It was tonight that I was told that this was done at a workshop, which I was not at that workshop because they did not tell me that was going to be a discussion at that workshop. So I'll discuss it a little bit more. At that, I think we gotta be a little bit mindful of the residents if we talking about transparency and doing things, but I, as a commissioner, didn't even get briefed on anything. But let's open this for public discussion. Anyone who would like to speak on the item, please come forward. I see none. Oh, I see one. Is she coming? Oh, she's going out? Okay. Turn it on the mic.
Street. I feel it's very questionable what's happening here right now because we are operating in the dark with no information. As a resident of the city of North Miami, I believe I'm entitled to know more about what you're talking about than you voting on such an important issue here and now. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Bob Pichon, 13005 Coronado Terrace. I disagree with Vice Mayor Desilmay that, as with all special taxing districts within the county, everybody within the special taxing district will forever and a day be taxed to support that. And I didn't have the opportunity to see the workshop either, and I would like to see a presentation.
Oh, so you agree with me? You agree with me? That's why I would like to see one too.
If I may, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Yes, sir.
What we're seeking today is the city's support for a special district. There's, I think there's about 70 CDDs or community development districts here in the county. There's probably over 450, 500 of them throughout the state of Florida. It's a very common practice in which we can ensure that the public infrastructure that's put in to benefit a specific development is only, it only subjects the people who purchase in there to the costs associated with those developments. This project ultimately will benefit the city because we will have the public infrastructure installed. It'll be given over to the city to the extent that the city requires it. That'll be constructed in accordance with all city requirements. It's a very common item. Also, this is just a support. There will be another official public hearing at the county level when the county goes to consider the application put forth by Alita Partners for the Community Development District. And again, I can just ask that you support this resolution because it's the first step that we need in order to move forward with the petition at the county level.
Let's bring it to Daya. Anybody, any members of the council? Because I do have something to say, but I'll, go ahead.
Mr. Attorney, can you speak on this at all? Yeah, we discussed it. I've been at the workshop. I'm comfortable. I don't like to do things that aren't transparent to the residents. We had a workshop. We discussed it. We're not required to sign any documents with regard to this. We're just supporting the ability of the Solomia to go out and create a district so they can go out and get financing and do the improvements. I will re-ask a question because I asked the question, I believe, at the workshop, is if you borrow money, if you do a bond, will you be looking to our CRA for any debt reduction? Are you going to be looking for any income from the CRA to pay for any bonds? I'd like that on the record.
My name's Bob Gang. I'm with Greenberg Traurig, and I would be the bond counsel for the CDD once it's created. The answer is that there is absolutely no intention to seek any TIF and any tax increment from the CRA. This is strictly the bonds will be paid for by special assessments levied on private homeowners or businesses within the boundaries of that CDD, which is about 183 acres. There'll be no request to the city for any revenue and no impact whatsoever on the city's resources.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, I was asking Mr. Kuzo if he had anything else to add to that after
Is there a question?
You've read what little I mean, we haven't really been given too much documentation other than the resolution. we haven't-
I can't speak to whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. All I can tell you is that I did read everything that was provided. We read the statutes and the county code. Everything that they're saying is correct. I mean, there are a number of these things. In terms of where we are in the process, it really is just a request from the city to agree to go forward. And there's a whole nother set of steps that don't take place here. They take place at the county. So this is a resolution agreeing that this is something that the city wants, and then it'll go forward through its own
Well,
path. But there's not. No
Mr. Attorney, and that's my problem. If I may, are you done,
I'm done,
madam?
thank you.
Here's my problem with this resolution. And sir, you could say, we have absolutely no problem with well, I don't have any problem with the development. Please, let's get this clear from the get start. First and foremost, as an elected commissioner, this is the first time who represent voters just like anybody else on this dais. I was disrespected. This was the first time I heard about something like this, and they asked me to vote for it. Now, I'm not saying the time frame, what was there. The workshop that they are talking about, and we got to be transparent here, this was not advertised that this was going to be presented at that workshop. If it was something that serious, maybe I would have canceled the job that I had to do to attend. It was something totally different. It was after the workshop I was told there was some stuff that was discussed. That's number one. Number two, the problem that I have with this resolution, and I don't know, maybe Councilman Galvin is someone who's been senior on this council. Maybe he could help me out a bit. But it was puzzling to me that my administration, my city manager is sponsoring something this major Xing us, which without discussing it to me, you know, with me as a commissioner, to sponsor something as the city. Now, perhaps if it came from one of us up here, who to sponsor the item, obviously that there must have been some meeting. So I don't know something this major. Obviously, you're saying it's not going to be impacted. It has nothing to do with the cost. I haven't seen the presentation. Members of the public haven't seen the presentation. Our mayor is not even here. Yet we are at, and I'm just saying the mayor is not here. Any of us could have been here. But if this is something of this magnitude to this project, you guys should have done a better job of making sure, regardless of your differences with commissioners up here, to make sure that we are briefed and we understand about it, so we could let our residents know and let them know, either publicize it on the website so we could have a better understanding of voting. I didn't like the way that our city manager is asking us to sponsor something like that to the council, to the county, without even discussing it with me. I wasn't briefed. When I raised the question, I was trying to, but still no presentation. I don't know nothing about this, so I can't sit here and ask questions and say I'm going to support something when members of the public don't know it, but I, as a commissioner, do not know nothing about the project. So my opposition is not only to how it got there, and I think, Mr. Manager, we have to be careful as we move forward. When items like this, certain things are not city administrative stuff, and this is clearly not one, in my judgment. This is something, administration is something dealing with one of the department, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know how this really got on the agenda. Obviously, you have information you're not sharing with me, because if you are the manager and I trust you, right now it's like this is like a backroom deal that was done, and then they just coming last minute asking me to vote on it. So that's my problem with this.
Mr. Vice Mayor?
Yes,
I'd like
sir.
to move that we continue this item for 2 weeks to allow the applicant to come back and make an actual substantive presentation. I recognize that you did do a town hall meeting. That should never be expected to take the place of a public discussion. So, town hall meeting aside, which I did attend, I would like to ask the applicant to come back in 2 weeks and make a full presentation for everybody in the room, so that we can make sure that we move Solomia forward without any questions as to what the motivations or reasons are.
Thank you, sir, and I'll support that. Mr. Clerk?
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin, and that motion is to move this item to the next council meeting in 2 weeks. And that motion was then seconded by Vice Mayor Desume. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes with a 4-0 vote. Tab J, designate a municipality voting delegate to represent the city of North Miami at the 90th Annual Conference of the Florida League of Cities, August 18 through the 20th, 2016.
Through the Vice Mayor, I believe the council had previously designated the Vice Mayor as our voting delegate, but we just wanted to be sure because we received the request from the league, so just brought the item forward.
Yes, sir. I know there was a resolution. I don't know if it ends in July or does it extend? I think it's February to February.
So you're
I
fine.
think so.
So we just wanted to make sure that was covered.
Yes, sir.
Move approval.
Second?
You need public
Do we need public discussion? No? Anyone would like to say anything? Public hearing closed. Mr. Clerk?
I have a motion made by Councilwoman Keys to approve tab J, and if I'm not mistaken, tab J was to keep Councilman Desume as the voting delegate that represents the city of North Miami. That motion was then seconded by Councilman Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Vice Mayor Desume remains as the voting delegate.
Thank you, sir. Citizen Forum, anyone who'd like to come forward, please come forward. Waiting for the chief. Oh, chief, are you coming? Are you? Okay. Yes,
Jessica,
Ms.
you're on.
Austin, go ahead.
How many minutes? I get 2 or 3 minutes?
2 minutes.
Just 2?
Oh, you want 3?
Yes, I want 3. My name is Jessica Alston, 1140 Northwest 125 Street. I come today with concern about the trip to China and what's going on with Chinatown in Sunkist Grove. I want to know who authorized the $25,000 to be spent for various people, council people or others, to go to China. We were informed in the little tiny presentation that was given by Ms. St. Jean that the Chinatown was going to be on the order of what was in Washington, D.C. Chinatown. So, but that it did not necessitate 5 or 6 people going to China to see what China's like when the supposed Chinatown is supposed to be on the order of what's going on in Washington, D.C. I am opposed to the Chinatown project. It has been done with absolutely zero transparency. It appeared without any kind of input from the community on the agenda. And I only found out about it because I read the agenda to find out what is going on, and I came to speak against it. I want to see some accountability and some transparency in what is going on. I want to see a report regarding the trip, and I want to see an investigation. Thank you.
So you don't need 3 minutes. Thank you, ma'am. Chief?
Mr. Vice Mayor,
Yes, sir.
members of the council, I'm sorry I missed the debate earlier about the annexation. Unequivocally, that area belongs to North Miami. It is the most preposterous nonsense I ever heard of Biscayne Park laying claim to east of the railroad tracks to that strip of land that we put in for a year ahead of them. They have to either go through the county or through North Miami to service that. This preposterous nonsense that they're going to put a substation, are they going to man that 24 hours a day? I'm going to tell you, as a law enforcement officer for 33 years, chief of 2 major departments, president of the Dade County Chiefs of Police Association, I spoke to my predecessors earlier tonight, Tom Flom and Jim Devaney, who was a councilman. They both are adamantly scratching their head and saying, how does Biscayne Park have the audacity to come out and grab this? They cannot service it from a public safety standpoint. That is absolutely wrong. If there's a traffic accident out there, we're the ones that have to handle it. Otherwise, we're going to have a bottleneck from here all the way up to the county line. They do not have the capability to take care of that area. They're primarily a residential police department. We are a full-service department. SWAT, hostage negotiation, homicide, you name it, traffic homicide. Do not capitulate. I'd rather see those 4 pieces of land, that the other annexation, go by than give this up. I walk every day in this city. I walk that area right there. I live in that area right there. Sally Heyman doesn't. And that is absolutely the most preposterous thing I ever heard. You know, John Adams said the purpose of government was to keep its people happy. Well, I'll tell you what. The county's not making me happy if they want to give that to Biscayne Boulevard, and they're not making the rest of the citizens of North Miami happy. You have an obligation. You're our elected officials, and this gentleman here is our city manager. Do not capitulate. A great
Chief.
abolitionist.
Thank you, Chief.
May I have 2 more minutes?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
A great abolitionist, William Lloyd Garrison, once said, I will be as harsh as truth and as uncompromising as justice. I am in earnest. I will not equivocate. I will not retreat a single inch, and I shall be heard. Mr. Manager, when you negotiate with them,
Chief, your time is almost up.
do not capitulate. That is ours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Is it my turn?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, folks. This is Philip Brutus, 12550 Biscayne Boulevard, Suite 800, North Miami, Florida. I don't come here often. You don't see me here at all. I don't come here for nothing. When I come here, it's important. I came here to ask y'all to consider the propriety of keeping Gwen Margolis' name on city-owned property. And to give you some perspective, let me tell you what happened. Last Monday, at a meeting of the Sunny Isles Beach Democratic Club meeting, she stated it was reprehensible for these Haitians to think they have the right to challenge her for the Senate seat. I'm one of those Haitians she referred to. She also talked about some lawyer, some teacher. That's okay because she didn't talk about their ethnicity. She talked about their profession. She went on to say she's of unlimited means and will spend every dime that she has to defeat those Haitians. The us against them mentality. The us against those coming from overseas, wetbacks coming here, take our jobs, take our positions, take our offices. This is wrong. I was not even there. Don Fesge, and I have to give kudos to him, he was incensed by it. He wrote on it, and we picked on it, and Miami Herald picked on it. Everybody basically condemned it. When Margolis decided to retire, not run for Senate, but never apologized. I think in a city where you have 3 council members that are Haitian, Haitian-born, Haitian-American, I think it is important for you to say no to this kind of ugly rhetoric. Now, I wanted to have it as on the agenda. Mr. Manager, I'm sorry you didn't put it on the agenda, but Mr. Galvin, I thank you for responding and acknowledging that I was requesting that. I truly think that that's the sign of a good public servant. But I think if we cannot do it today, the next meeting, we need to have it. You all need to take a position on this. You could say no. She's a great citizen. You'll give her name. But you all need to be on the record for me to say what she did was wrong.
Rep. 10 seconds.
Can I get 2 more seconds?
No,
like Mr.
10,
Each?
10.
He
10.
got 2?
I gave you 10, and I gave him 10.
Okay,
So you got 10.
Okay.
On
all right.
top.
Well, I'm for equality here. You know what I'm
Go
saying?
ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
You know, we got to make sure we're on the same page. Basically, I'm not going to belabor the point. It is wrong what she did. And if she apologized, I'm good with it. But she refused to apologize. And we got to say no. No to ugliness. God doesn't like ugly. Y'all shouldn't like it either. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Again, Robert Houston, 1150 Northeast 123rd Street. And I would also ask the city manager, in consideration of the Biscayne Park proposed annexation, to weigh the tax value of the 4 properties in annexation versus the commercial buildings on Biscayne Boulevard. What kind of revenue will the city get from those proposed annexation site versus what kind of revenue we would get from those two buildings? The buck stops there. End of story. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Public hearing is closed. I see no one coming. Council report. Councilman Galvin.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. The sun is setting outside, so for those of you who haven't seen it live and in person, I ask you to stick around when the lights go down outside, because City Hall is illuminated. City Hall is illuminated in the colors of the rainbow flag tonight through the remainder of this week, as a testament of North Miami standing in solidarity with those in Orlando who lost their lives this week. I want to say thank you to the city manager for your strength in getting City Hall lit. Want to say thank you to Natasha Colebrook, our deputy city manager, for your vision, because when we were talking about chief of staff, sorry. When we're talking about doing something, I was simply going to be happy with hanging a rainbow flag outside of City Hall. And Natasha, your vision in truly making this City Hall become a piece of art is very, very appreciated. I want to thank my fellow members of the City Council who have supported this, because there was a time not long ago when city councils in North Miami would not have. Most of you in the room probably know that I'm gay. And as one of the very few, less than 5 openly gay elected officials in Miami-Dade County, the incidents, the massacre in Orlando hit home for me very strongly. The person who committed the atrocity, and notice I didn't say a man, because somebody who had any ounce of humanity in them would not have committed this act. The person who committed the massacre took 49 souls, 49 lives of people who were husbands, wives, daughters, brothers, mothers. They took 49 lives that can never be replaced. But I want to say, please know that we, the GLBT community, will rise again. In 1969, at Stonewall, when police raided clubs and tried to arrest us simply for who we were, we rose again. In 1998, when Matthew Shepard was murdered in Laramie, Wisconsin, we rose again. Over the last decade, as we in the GLBT communities have fought for basic protections for us and our loved ones, we have continuously risen again. In the Bible, Peter once asked Jesus, "Lord, how many times should I forgive those who have sinned against me?" And Jesus said, not 7 times, but 70 times 7 times. And I'm here to say that here in our GLBT community across this country, we will rise 49 times 49 times. If you kill us, our gay community will rise again. If you hurt us, our lesbian community will rise again. If you discriminate against us, our bisexual and transgendered communities will rise again. Like every minority community across this country, we are strong, we are resilient, but most of all, we're loving. Thank you, council members, for your support.
Thank you so much, Councilman Galvin. Well
And
said.
also we have
Yes.
the service on Thursday night.
I was gonna
Or you gonna?
No, but go ahead. You could,
And Councilman Galvin, you didn't talk about the service on Thursday night at
yeah,
church.
at the church, but
Can
please.
you give the
mention it.
location, the address? I don't have
Sure.
it in front of me.
For those who are interested in attending First Church of North Miami, which is located at 1200 Northeast 135th Street, we'll be holding a vigil this coming Thursday evening, June the 16th at 7 p.m. So they reached out to me today and to City Hall. I know that they're still throwing together their press releases and invitations, but know that the North Miami community, beyond this spectacular presentation that's going on outside of this City Hall, on a nightly basis, there'll also be a candlelight vigil at the First Church of North Miami.
Thank you, Councilman Galvin. We were supposed to honor with a certificate for Gay Appreciation Month this month, but because of the tragedy that happened in Orlando, we decided to do a moment of silence, but instead I think the rabbi took care of that for us. Councilwoman Keys?
Thank you. I don't know how to follow that, but I fully support our city's showing of solidarity. I saw it last night by Facebook. It was beautiful. I applaud you, Natasha. I support that fully, and any flags that we need to fly, we should not be afraid to put ourselves out there to show that we do support the LGBT community. That being said, I hate to break into a little money matter, but that's me. There were a couple people who did speak on the Biscayne Park annexation and brought into it money. This issue really is not about money. Annexations are not supposed to be about money. They're not supposed to be about municipalities that need money, so they're going to grab some land. It's really about the quality of life, the safety issues of what will happen to neighboring cities, and I really hope that we will take that into consideration. It is not about the buck and getting some bucks from another neighborhood at the risking or at, the lessening the quality on the other side of the city. I hope that we will take that into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Bien-Aimé.
I have no report. I just want to let you know the address for the address of the church is 1200 Northeast 135th Street, Thursday, 7 p.m.
Thank you, Councilman, and we all plan to be there on Thursday. Thank you. On a different matter, I just wanted to be out there among staff as part of my report. I know there's been a lot of community complaint and concern regarding the utility bill. It's been an uproar and an outrage in my sector of the city. We did make an error. The city where normally you would get 4 bills for the entire year, but this year you are getting 6 bills. Last year you did not pay for 2 bills, but they should have sent you the 2 bills last year. Instead, we added trying to catch up, and I think by now I could say clearly we are caught up. Hopefully, thank you. I see Ms. Reyes in the back, and the utility staff. So hopefully, I am working with staff to come up with a remedy. I think that hopefully at the next council meeting, I'm going to ask the attorney to please work with staff and see if we could at least do something, because it's not pretty. I cannot even walk into Publix. I can't go anywhere, and it's bad. It's bad to the fact if you come here during the day time, downstairs is crazy. That's on any given day, any time after 10, between 10 and 3, where they come in to pay their water bill. The other day there must have been at least 8 or 9 people that kind of mugged me as I was coming in for a meeting, and their complaints were the water bill. And I think us in government, we here to help to make the quality of lives, and we got to keep that in mind. And right now we're not doing that too well. So it's my hope. Hopefully, I'll be working on something with staff to help out with that. With that said, Mr. Clerk, any report?
Real brief. My prayers obviously go out to the families of the victims in Orlando. I went to law school in Orlando. And in all honesty, I think a lot of us need to realize that this is our battle as well. I know only one openly gay person, and that's Scott Galvin. Although I know a lot of women from the LGBT community, but despite the fact that I have only one openly gay friend, it is still a battle that I need to take dearly. We need to make sure we do everything we can to donate blood. I know I'm supposed to go to Orlando to donate blood. I'm O negative. And we need to take action to help the victims of this horrific incident. So for what it's worth, Scott Galvin, I can tell you right now, we stand with your community. We stand with the LGBT community. It is our community as well. We are all part of one humanity. And I'm going to do everything that I can. My family member is going to do everything that we can to make sure that we donate blood and do what we can to save as many lives as possible. Godspeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, but why you can't do it here? Can't do it
Apparently,
here.
that's what I thought, but
Oh.
it's going to take time to transport the blood up
Oh,
there
really?
to Orlando, so it's
Can't they
easier
do
if we
it
go
here?
there.
No,
Don't be lazy, Cal.
Councilman
You
Galvin.
can ride with me.
You
Let's go.
trying to go to
Let's go
Orlando?
Disney.
Yeah, that's what it is. Mr. Manager.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Is it the attorney and then the manager? I'm sorry, Mr. Attorney.
Nothing to report, Vice Mayor.
Okay, well that's good, Mr. Manager.
Thank
go
you,
ahead.
Vice Mayor. Just very quickly, and thank you, Councilman Galvin, for that appreciation. In addition to Natasha, I should also thank the rest of the staff, Public Works. Everybody on staff came together. Unfortunately, I was actually in Orlando during this horrific event. Fortunately for me, my family was far away from those areas, but again, my heartfelt sympathies go out to the families as well. One more thing, the city, I guess a positive note, the city budget office, Terry Henley, received the Government Financial Officers Award for distinguished budgeting award again this year.
Oh, wow.
So they'll be coming to officially present it, but we received it today. So
Oh,
kudos to
great.
the budget department
Yes.
once again.
Yeah, that's 3 years in a row, right? Two?
More
3
than
years?
that, right?
Yeah,
Third year,
Third
3
year.
years.
That would be the third one.
Oh, wow, good. So that means we have money, so we good. Okay, all right. Anything else, sir? Oh, this was a good meeting. Can I please get moved to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you.